2025 has been a great year for music, so I've chosen my personal top 10 favorite albums of the year. I'll also give you my number one song from each album, rate that song out of 10, then award the album a final score out of 100. And if you enjoy the video, I'd appreciate your support, like, subscribe, all the YouTube things. I read and respond to every single comment, so leave your own lists down below. Now, let's get on with it. Coming in 10th place of the year, I went with Seeking Darkness by Huremek is an experimental noise rock album released back in March. The thing that sticks out to me about this one is the fact that it's an hour long, but there's only 5 tracks. That means each one is about as long as a fucking unskippable YouTube ad, but it works out. The songs are long, slow, and build gradually, giving each one plenty of time to create this atmosphere of emotion. They're dark, they're creepy, and they're very immersive, an extremely similar feel to Swans music, and I love Swans. And if I had to choose one of these 5 tracks to be the best, I guess I'd go with... I think part 4 feels the most rewarding to listen to because the instrumental is constantly changing, leaving you almost guessing what sound will come next. Despite the fact that it's over 11 entire minutes long, it's able to hold my attention the entire time, and those 11 minutes fly by faster than I ever think they will on every listen. It's truly impressive, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I'll give this track a 4 out of 10.
What did he say?
I'm just fucking with you. They're all gonna be 10s in the video. Overall, Seeking Darkness is an underappreciated album this year. I mean, most of the tracks don't even have 10k streams, so I'm assuming you, the viewer, have not heard it yet, so maybe give it a try. It's an 88 out of 100 for me. In 9th place, I have... Durante esta sección hablaré en español para demostrar que puedo hablarlo. Vendrán Suaves Lluvias es un álbum de folk de cámara de Silvana Estrada. Consta de solo 10 temas y dura menos de 40 minutos. I can't do this anymore. I can speak Spanish a little bit, but it's just hard for me, okay? Give me a pass. This album has some of the most lush and pretty sounding production of the year. It sounds like you're frolicking through a field of flowers as it rains sunshine and happiness. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's just overly positive, so much so to the point where it feels like it's almost from some sort of alternate universe, like the most gorgeous universe ever. And amongst that pretty atmosphere, my favorite track is Un Rayo de Luz, meaning a ray of light, is this cutesy, pretty, almost Disney princess sounding track, and then you look at the lyrics, translate it to English, and realize it's all about death and fucking depressing shit. It's this weird mix of a soothing, smooth lullaby, and a story I'd tell around the campfire to try and scare the people around me. I don't know what emotion I'm supposed to be feeling, but I'm feeling them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna move on from the lyrics before it makes me spiral into insanity. I adore how this song sounds. Her voice is just so gentle and calming that it's unreal. Simply put, it is a perfect track. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about Vendrán Suaves Lluvias. It's a very gorgeous Spanish album that I think even non-Spanish speakers can enjoy. I'm giving it an 89 out of 100. For 8th place, I went with... Like I said earlier, I like Swans a lot. And yeah, Birthing is their newest and final addition to their big sound era, which is just the style they've been releasing since the 2010s with like the 2-hour-long albums, heavy soundscapes, and overwhelming textures. And yeah, since Birthing is a big sound album, it also is about 2 hours long with only 7 tracks. If the songs from Seeking Darkness were an unskippable ad, then these ones are a full-on fucking virus that will destroy your device, and they're even slower, even more atmospheric, and they pay off even more. And thinking of what the best song is, there's two possible contenders for me. There's the title track Birthing and the outro Rope Away. They're about tied for me, but I guess I'll go with Birthing is the longest track on the album, clocking in at over 22 minutes. That is wild. The song begins with these pretty twinkling chimes, fading into the classic Swans post-rock sound that we love. There's a section with like a baby talking, and then Michael G. Ra is talking in reverse, saying "attention motherfuckers," but it's played backwards. It's kind of creepy to be honest, and then it ends off with some heavy-hitting guitars and drums, bringing it all to a cinematic, climactic closing. And wow, it really is an experience of a track, let me say. And overall, Birthing essentially represents the end of the big sound era of the Swans, but most importantly, it's marking the beginning of a brand new, unpredictable phase from the Swans. Who knows what will be birthed next? A 90 out of 100 for this one. For 7th place, I went with
the most valuable bars that'll clap you.
Supreme Clientele 2 by Ghostface Killah is one of my favorite rap albums of the year. Ghostface is my favorite Wu-Tang member, so a 2025 release from him was exactly what I needed. What makes me enjoy this album so much is how similar it sounds to the time period when Supreme Clientele came out, that late 90s, early 2000s feel. It's honestly kind of insane because it almost makes this record act as some sort of time machine, taking you back to those times while still keeping a clean, modern polish to it. And his rapping is unbelievably good considering he is 55 years old.
Damn.
What? That is hard to believe. And for my favorite track, I feel almost obligated to go with
During trial, lost my jury box. My co-defendant Blue.
The Trial is an amazing track. I mean, first off, the drum break and beat makes this feel very similar to something off B by Common, which is a huge compliment.
During trial, lost my jury box.
It's very simple, and I love that because it doesn't get in the way of the lyrics. It lets what they have to say shine through. And oh my god, this track has some of my favorite storytelling of the year, painting this picture of a courtroom. The song features Raekwon, Method Man, GZA, Reek the Villain, and Pills, and essentially it's telling the story of Ghostface and Raekwon being on trial for potentially committing some crimes. The verses bounce back and forth between prosecutors, lawyers, witnesses, and it creates this theatrical, chaotic environment. By the end, Ghostface and Raekwon get to walk free, and if I were to tell you that I get hype at this point, I'd be understating it. It literally feels like you're there in the courtroom with them, celebrating their victory at the end. It's too amazing. Easy 10 out of 10. I love this song. Anyway, I love Ghostface Killah's music. Supreme Clientele was near perfect, and I think Supreme Clientele 2 lived up to the incredibly high standards of the first one, so 90 out of 100. Up next, I went with Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You by Ethel Cain is probably the most fucking depressing album released this year. It's like an ambient, slow rock album, and it tells the heartbreaking story of Ethel Cain's first love, Willoughby Tucker. And it's nothing out of the ordinary, it's your run-of-the-mill heartbreak album. But no, it's not. Not at all, because her songwriting is so soul-crushingly effective that every single word just pierces your heart. I can't help but always read along to the lyrics as I listen to this one, because they're just so filled with love and pain. It's jaw-dropping, to say the least. And amongst the 10 tracks on the album, my favorite one has to be Tempest is a 10-minute masterpiece that is slow and haunting, told through the perspective of Willoughby Tucker. It sounds rainy and windy, almost as if you're standing in the middle of a storm. It's full of anger, fear, loneliness, insert another negative emotion, and it just hits all of the right places in my mind. You can't help but feel the pain that Willoughby is feeling in this track, getting swept away in the storm with him. Listen to this one at your own risk though, this shit might fuck you up. And yeah, if you're sad, listen to this album. If you're not sad, still listen to this album. It's good either way. Some of my favorite songwriting this year, a solid 92 out of 100. Top 5 of the year. Beloved by Giveon is what I imagine a Frank Ocean album to sound like in 2025. He's got that smooth, clean, perfected voice, paired with the fantastic modern R&B instrumentals. All 14 tracks and roughly 40 minutes of track time are just so polished and glossy, and his writing is so deep and personal, discussing heartbreak, personal conflicts, and his longing love for this woman. He captures the pain and agony from a failed relationship so well, perfectly allowing listeners to relate and resonate with him deeply. And when it comes to the best track, there's around 5 of them that I feel like could be the best, but my choice is going to... Don't Leave starts off with these beautiful strings and Giveon's discussing the flaws in his relationship, and then the song changes around the halfway mark with Seven Streeter providing these gorgeous background vocals, and then in the outro there's this lovely call and response section where Giveon and Seven wrap the song up very well. It's gorgeous, the instrumental alone makes me want to fucking cry, and it's a 10 out of 10. Although I don't consider Beloved to be an outwardly unique or new experience of an album, I do think that it perfected the vibe that it was going for. It's that smooth R&B that I always need. So it's a 93 out of 100. Fourth place, I'm giving to... Vanisher Horizon Scraper by Kwanka is truly an experience of an album. It's an over hour-long art pop experimental juggernaut of a project. It has this larger-than-life, intense, action movie sort of atmosphere where every track feels like it has the power to stop the earth from spinning. The production is stunning, his singing is a clear step up from any of his past work, and the writing is detailed and precise. It's an album that's difficult to put into words, and there are so many perfect songs on this record, but I have a clear favorite, and it's... Featuring English rock band Maruja, Casper acts as the ultimate extreme closer to the album. That little section I played where it mimics the sound of sinking and swimming in water literally leaves me paralyzed every single time I hear it. It's just so incredibly immersive that I can't do anything besides suggest you listen to the whole album, and once you get to this song, it'll speak to you. Trust me, if you haven't already, you have to. I cannot believe that Quadeca went from YouTuber KSI diss track and Dax collaborations to some of the most impressive production I've heard in my life. Vanisher is a strong 95 out of 100. Into the top 3. Magic Alive by McKinley Dixon is a prime example of what modern jazz rap should be. It's a quick listen, being only 35 minutes with 11 tracks, but don't let that dilute how you feel about it. It still packs an unbelievable punch. The production feels spotless, groovy, and complete, with lots of horns, strings, and bass guitar, and Dixon's rapping is fantastic. It's actually a concept album discussing themes of a lost friend and the grief that comes with it. Eventually, they try to reconnect with their friend through magic. This adds a supernatural fantasy aspect to the album that just adds to the creativity that was already there. And all of the tracks are so good, but I do have a clear favorite. The first half of We're Outside Rejoice is just a grand, impressive jazz segment showing off these delightful melodies, but then the second half has the already iconic and memorable chorus, We're outside, rejoice, rejoice. There's a great verse, and then it closes off with the phenomenal chorus again. It's such an appealing track. It glides with an effortless, organic grace. It's just so warm and happy. One of my favorite songs of the entire year. And that's all I had to say. Jazz rap is my favorite subgenre of rap, and I think Magic Alive nearly perfected the art. It's vibrant, it's emotional, and it's imaginative. Every single moment on here feels intentional and necessary. This one is another 95 out of 100. Second place is going to Pain to Power by Maruja, and if you already forgot who they are, they were the ones on Casper with Quadeca earlier. And this album is a 50-minute post-punk jazz rock sensation. Honestly, I would give this a 100, and it would be my album of the year and maybe album of the decade if it weren't for Zaytoon. Now, don't get me wrong, Zaytoon isn't bad by any means, but it just feels boring and unnecessary. It's over 4 minutes of pretty good jazz rock. There's no lyrics at all, though. It's essentially an interlude, and it is still pretty enjoyable, but I'd rather it was just scrapped from the project entirely, to be honest, because it's like a 6 out of 10 track. All 7 of the other songs, though, let's be honest, they're pretty much perfect, but my favorite of them is definitely... My god, it's the magnificent outro with impeccable jazz, gorgeous vocals, and it's just such a good way to wrap it all up. I can't help but always start chanting the lyrics with them as it reaches the end. It's just so powerful. Have no fear. And by the end, I'm fully reconciled. You get it? Like the title of the track? Somebody please clap. Somebody, I need this. Somebody. Whatever though, it's amazing. I love it. It's a fucking 3 out of 10. Pain to Power could have been one of my favorite albums of all time if it weren't for Zaytoon. But even with that track, it's still an extraordinary, near perfect record. So I'm giving it a 97 out of 100. And my number 1 spot is going to Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler Okay, I was just messing around. I'm sorry. My real number 1 is... I'm not the candidate to vibe with. I don't fuck with the... Y'all are gonna hate me, but that's another joke, okay? They're great albums. If you want to have either or both of those in your top 10, that's valid, but they're not in mine. All jokes aside, my true number 1 album of 2025 is... Racing Mount Pleasant by Racing Mount Pleasant is honestly one of my favorite albums of all time. It's very reminiscent of Ants From Up There by Black Country New Road, if y'all know that one. And people are probably clicking off the video, so my favorite song from this one is... I don't have much to say besides this song has literally brought me to tears from the instrumentation alone. That is impressive. You don't get that often. It's a perfect song. Overall, Racing Mount Pleasant has everything I wanted from this year. There's great rock, great jazz, great vocals, deep writing, and some of the best instrumentation of the year. It feels too soon to give it this, but I'm giving it a 100. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you made it here, comment mountain, and have an amazing day. Goodbye.